From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Right, I want to assure you up front that this podcast is drug and alcohol free. But I am getting high on a big old plate of crispy, greasy bacon. Oh, I love the fat. And don't get too excited when I tell you that spring is officially just 1 week away.
Oh, give us a Rat's Ass.
Oh, I love me some springtime in SoCal. From the Mojo Studio on Sunset and Vine, here we go with another action-packed adventure.
Let's do it.
Here's what's on tap on the wrap. America, we have a problem we need to discuss. I will prepare you for the three-headed monster that's coming. New York City Mayor Mamdani has some explaining to do, and I bet you would like to hear another example of Democratic dipshittery, wouldn't you? Sure you would. And Gene Simmons of Kiss goes scorched earth on Hollywood. Another round of head trauma is on the way. Today it's the mystery voice plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including TDK with a good rock tail and weird, wacky, and ridiculous people. You have been warned. But that's what's happening today on the Rat's Ass Podcast. For Thursday, March 12th, I appreciate you hanging out with us. I would like to point your attention, if I may, to the Rat's Ass Podcast blog. I don't think I talk about this enough. But if you like the podcast, I think you'll find it to be an extension of what we do here. You're going to get articles on current events, entertainment, music, sports, features like Radio Wars, the Q&A that recaps the emails we do, Battle of the Sexes, and the Wall of Shame. Lots of fine friends up there you might recognize right now. In fact, Christy Nome got the nod this week. You can check it out for yourself, though, at ratsasspodcast.com. All right, I was having some fun before I did the podcast today, hanging out with AI platforms, ChatGPT, and Grok. Now, it's fun to ask them both the same questions to see how they answer, and ChatGPT is a little more serious, while Grok is a little more carefree. And naturally, as you can imagine, I started with some very serious questions before I went to the gutter. Now, I'll leave it up to you to come up with your own questions, but you can try this one because I think you'll find the responses quite entertaining. Grok, ChatGPT, what is the best way to butt-fuck a chicken?
Immature. The man's immature.
Oh,
you know?
you're going straight to hell for that one.
But try it. All right, let's get into the wrap today. America, we have a problem to discuss. There is now growing concern the SAVE Act is dead. Dead on arrival, DOA. Now, polling says 85% of us Americans want voter ID, but our elected officials, they do not. Republican Senate Majority Leader, the goon John Thune, is cock-blocking it, along with Mitch McConnell, who's as brain dead as Biden, so it's probably some assistant to him. But when you think about it, Republicans have the White House, the majority in the Senate, and the House. So why can't we get the SAVE Act passed? Dennis Michael Lynch, a political analyst, has an interesting theory that makes a lot of sense to me. Let's see if you agree.
The SAVE Act is dead. It's not going anywhere. It's never going to pass. You're going to hear many different reasons why. Some people will tell you because the Republicans want to keep the filibuster pure, not to hand it over one day to the Democrats who will use it against us when they've got power back. You'll hear that there aren't enough votes. You'll hear even, I think Glenn Beck said today, that it's because the Republicans don't want to put in the hard work. It could last 60 days, 24 hours a day. How do you organize this? Who's there? Who's not there? It's none of that. I've been saying this for a year, and now it's only become more clear. Who wouldn't want to pass illegal aliens can't vote? You need voter ID. I mean, it's the most simple layup in the world. But at the end of the day, the entire Congress, not just the left, but the right, want Trump to fail. Trump has less bills put into law than any other president in modern times. It is just so simple. They all hate him. He has called them all out at one point or another, given them all nicknames, degraded them, made them feel embarrassed at some point. And because they're politicians, because they lie when they move their lips, they have just pretended. They have gone through the process of just pretending like they want to have Trump's back, like they too are MAGA. None of them are. They want Trump to fail. They are not going to give him any victory whatsoever. And the Republicans are never going to piss off the Democrats because they're all on the same side. And so what they do is they jerk our chain and they make it sound like they're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost there. And nothing ever happens. And I guarantee you that there are major Republicans, lots of Republicans, especially those who have been around for a while, who totally expect that we will lose the House and the Senate, and they're glad to see it happen because now Trump will be impeached, he will be removed, and ding dong, he's gone, and so too is MAGA. They don't just want to get rid of Trump. They want to get rid of you. They want to get rid of anybody who considers themselves MAGA. They want to put this country back on the track where it used to be, where it was driven by the establishment. And if you are missing this, you are either blind or you are in massive denial. And that includes the President of the United States. If he hasn't figured it out, none of these people are on his side. None of them are his friends. I don't trust half the people, if not more, that are in the White House on top of that. Trust me when I tell you, this is a concerted effort to lose the midterms and to get rid of Trump once and for all. That's the plan.
Now, that's just one man's opinion, but do you agree or disagree? But based on what Lynch is saying, we the people need to adopt a new strategy then. And it's pretty simple. We have to make a concerted effort to vote out every single incumbent from both parties to reset the government. It's the only way we're going to fully drain the swamp and know that we did. And it might take a couple of election cycles to get it done, but it's up to us. Now, if you want to vote your party line, that's fine. Vote Democrat, vote Republican. But we need new blood at the top. Well, hell, at all levels of government. Let's just go from top to bottom. Complete flush of the system. I mean, you look at how many endless investigations and probes that cost us millions of tax dollars, keeps a lot of lawyers employed, but no one ever gets put in jail. Nobody's held accountable. I mean, why should we continue to elect people who cause problems and have no intentions of fixing them? I mean, if a plumber screws up your plumbing at your house, do you call them back to fix it, or do you hire somebody new? If you go to a restaurant, food sucks, do you go back? I certainly hope not. We really need to come together on this, folks, because they've got us divided and conquered right now. They've got us by the cojones. And the only way to take back America is to strip these lying, lazy-ass, anti-American bastards of their power. It's not about money. It's all about the power. Okay, and by the way, Fleabag, either I didn't bring my Tylenol with me or I'm out. Can you send Puddin' out to get some Tylenol, please? I would appreciate that. Thank you, man. All right, we have another three-headed monster we have to consider, too. Number one, first head on the monster. Without voter ID, we cannot allow Democrats to regain power because these are not Democrats running. These are anti-Americans. We see it every single day with their anti-Trump rhetoric. I don't think it's anti-Trump. I believe it's anti-American disguised as anti-Trumpism. Think about that. Am I nuts? So we have to get out the vote. Republicans, independents, libertarians, moderate Democrats who typically sit out the midterms need to get off their ass and go vote in November. You saw what happened in Virginia. You see what happened in New York. Maybe it's time to heed the warning on this stuff. These are not Democrats. These are anti-Americans, disguised as Democrats. So I ask you again, do you really want to relive the Biden years all over again? All right, head number two on the monster. The rise of Islamic terror in America by radical Muslims. I don't see the government coming to our rescue on this one. I really don't. It's another thing we, the people, are going to have to tackle. Now, I hate to think it may come down to Americans becoming violent, but sad to say, it's either us or them, right? I would hope you're not going to lay down and let them take your bacon and your dogs. It's time to wake up, America. The enemy is here. Head number three on the monster. Starting in 2027, Gavin Newsom is going to start making a full court press to win the Democratic nomination for president. But heed my warning on this one, this ginormous pile of monkey shit with hair. He has caused more damage to California in 7 years than all 39 previous governors combined, and I am not exaggerating. I know. I've lived in Los Angeles for 40 years. I know what LA was like in 1986 versus now. It's night and day. We're going to spend the next 20 years recovering if we stop electing Democrats now in this state. And I fully realize most people could give a rat's ass about California. You want us to fall off into the ocean. I want us to fall off into the ocean. Nevada definitely wants us to fall off into the ocean based on Newsom's gas policies. I mean, Gavin's going to come at you, man. He's going to tell you California is exceptional because of him, because he can sell ice to the Eskimos. That's his talent. But I want you to pay attention to what you see, not what he says. I mean, I'm telling you, Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon would be safer than a Newsom presidency. I mean, he admitted he's the 960 SAT guy. He admitted it. And this puts him in the bottom 35% of dumbasses nationwide. He's got by on his family's clout, his looks, but substance does not exist within Gavin Newsom. He lacks character, integrity, he has no morals, and based on being a 960 SAT guy, he lacks intelligence. Now, to me, that's 4 strikes and you're out. But you got to believe it for yourselves. Now, I've hit you with some pretty heavy stuff so far today, but I do want to hit you with one more thing about the attack in New York City earlier this week by 2 teens from Pennsylvania, as CNN put it. It had nothing to do with white supremacy like their dipshit mayor Zohran Mamdani claims. I mean, look, he's going to try and use racism and claims of Islamophobia to advance his Muslim agenda because, you know, if they scream racism and any kind of a phobia, people are going to get scared and back down. Oh, don't call us names like that. We're not like that. None of it's true. So don't fall for it. It's not white supremacy. I mean, is anybody getting burned on the streets? Is anybody getting tied to the back of a truck and dragged through the streets of New York City? No. Don't let them get away with it. Stand up for yourselves. My God. This is how Iran fell in 1979, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there is never a shortage of democratic dipshittery. And I'm going to have a hard time getting through this one straight-faced, so I ask that you please bear with me. But you had to see Whoopi Goldberg on The View actually insinuate that Donald Trump started a $1 billion-a-day war with Iran to take our minds off the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Now, was she just talking to her audience? Yeah, that's what the president did. He's sitting in the White House with nothing better to do than like, oh my God, we got to take people's minds off Nancy Guthrie. I think I'll start a war with Iran. Get Hegseth on the phone. Get Raisin Kane on the phone. We need a plan. Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick. I honestly, I don't know how to respond anymore to this. Outside, I'm just going to leave it there because the stupidity speaks for itself. Now, I will say, a stupid-ass comment like that should get Whoopi fired on ABC. Leaving Goldberg on that show proves that ABC does not give a rat's ass if they have credibility or not. All right, KISS bassist Gene Simmons, who turned 77 in August. I'd say he's a pretty wise guy after you've put 77 years on the planet in, right? Well, he's making news after he went scorched earth on a couple of Hollywood stars, giving their opinions about politics. Now, mainly Ben Stiller and Mark Ruffalo. Gene's point was Americans who work hard for a living really don't give a rat's ass about what millionaires have to say from their mansions while their Rolls Royces are being buffed and polished in their garage. He urged them to stick to their art and just entertain. I cleaned it up for Gene. He said, just shut the fuck up. But again, I'm reminded, and it got me thinking, should I refrain from talking about politics and just stick to the lunacy and loose behavior? And that's the Rat's Ass Podcast, lunacy and loose behavior. And as I pondered this voice came to me.
Mojo, it's God. You keep doing what you're doing, my son. I put you on this earth with the gift of shooting your big mouth off. I want you to use it and abuse it in the name of Christ. This is your art. Be loud, be proud, be bold, and carry my spirit within thee.
I mean, you heard it, right? And when you think about it, who am I to go against the wishes of God? All right, who's up for a miraculous rock tale? This is TDK.
When a vocalist almost lost his voice permanently, he had no idea it would lead to his band's first big hit. Back in the early 80s, this metal band was in trouble. Their lead singer had lost his voice, he needed an operation, and the doctors told him he may never sing again. But since the show must always go on in rock and roll, his band continued to work on their 5th album without him. They even had another young singer come in and lay down some vocals. And if you ask the band now, they say they were just guide vocals, but a lot of people think it was a sly audition just in case their singer didn't come back. But miraculously, the rock and roll gods healed the singer. He came back and re-sang all the vocals that the young singer had done, and he recorded some new ones, including their first single with his new strong voice.
Of course, TDK is talking about the Scorpions.
He's never been in a car traveling over 200 miles an hour. Here's Mojo Elliott with his spin on sports on the Wrap.
Like 185 wasn't fast enough. All right, starting today, I'm going to change how I do my spin on sports and pick one topic and dive into it as opposed to doing a recap-style report. I mean, you can get those any place, but what you don't get anywhere else is my take or my spin. So, shall we begin? All right, what a fine mess the Las Vegas Raiders have got themselves into. You all know I'm a big Raiders fan. But this deal with the Baltimore Ravens reneging on their trade of 2 first-round draft picks for Max Crosby is a bad look for them. I mean, it could have consequences for them long down the road. But screw Baltimore. We don't care about the Ravens. The Raiders, who went out of their way to sign a bunch of free agents this week, did a really nice job. I was really excited about it. And apparently, we've had all kinds of stories. I mean, geez, will the Raiders be able to keep Crosby? Will they have to get rid of him because of the salary cap? Well, the word is they have enough salary cap to retain Crosby. It just may stop them from signing others that they need, like backfield depth, some other wide receivers, some depth at offensive line. We'll see how they handle it. But what pisses me off is Raiders GM John Spytak saying the Raiders are still open to trading Crosby, but he has a price he wants in return, or Max will be a Raider in 2026. That makes me happy as hell because I hope he's back. What I have a problem with, though, is Spytek. Okay, now it's okay for him to strategically speak behind closed doors like this, okay? But to openly say in public and to where Max can hear it for himself, then he ends up getting bombarded with questions about it from the media while he's trying to rehab and get his knee ready to play. I just think it's bullshit, and Spytek should have just shut the hell up. TMI, man. If I was in Max's shoes right now, I'd tell Spytek to kiss my ass and trade me or I'm not playing. A little butthurt right now. I mean, granted, the NFL's a business. Max has been compensated well. But to me, it still doesn't give the Raiders organization carte blanche to treat Max like a piece of meat. This guy has done everything right, from the time he was traded to the return. I mean, what message does this send to the other players? Wow, when my time ends with the Raiders, am I going to be treated like this? Are they going to treat me like Max? Are they going to treat me like Derek Carr? This is what causes players to show up and just play for a paycheck, and you end up with 5 and 12 seasons. There is a time to use the media for what you want and a time to sit on it. Spytek should have sat on this one. He should have sat on it. And that's my spin on sports today on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Headshot.
All right, today we're playing the mystery voice. Listen close to this one, famous celebrity, and see if you can figure out who it is.
Why is it being seen as, obscene?
All right, I'll give it to you one more time.
Why is it being seen as, obscene?
Do you want it a third time, do you? You want it a third time? Here you go.
Why is it being seen as, obscene?
All right, kick it around. We'll have the answer for you coming up.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yes, as we head downhill to the weekend, we all like to feel better about ourselves, right? All right, let's do some weird, wacky, and ridiculous people. Chad Cutter from Orlando, Florida, lost his job as a food delivery person when it was discovered that he was skimming a few bites from every meal he was delivering so he could pay his rent and not worry about buying groceries. Well, he got caught because he accidentally left the plastic spoon he was using in a container of food he was unknowingly delivering to the owner that employed him. Chad was fired immediately upon his return to the headquarters. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why Mojo never uses food delivery service.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam Asghari, who bankrolled her for a boatload of money, says Britney is being oppressed like Iranian women after her DUI arrest. And I got to call BS on this one. I mean, come on, Sam. Nobody is stoning Britney on Thousand Oaks Boulevard. I mean, the only difference between Britney Spears getting nailed for a DUI and someone who didn't is Britney just got caught. End of story. She'll pay a fine, steep fine. She'll feel a little humiliated, and she'll get on with her life. All right, Kelly Clarkson, the first winner of American Idol back in 2002, says she never received the $1 million prize and a new car she was promised. Clarkson made these comments on her talk show, which shocked her audience and guests. Clark claims she got $1 million worth of promotion, and that's about it after winning the show. My question is, why now, after 24 years? Why do you bring it up? I mean, maybe Kelly should have checked with her agent Maybe he had some money in the bank account and a car in his garage. I mean, these Hollywood agents, if she's signed with a fly-by-night, they're sneaky little bastards. All right, everyone's talking about the breakup between Dallas Cowboy quarterback Dak Prescott and his ex-fiancée, Sarah Jane Ramos. Now, initially, the story went she broke off with him, broke their wedding off because of his demands for a prenuptial. But now the story is she did it after giving him an ultimatum to give up other women or say goodbye to her. So it looks like Dak said, well, let me see here. Geez, all things under consideration. I think I'll take the other women. Now, Dak and Sarah already have 2 kids together. So why buy the cow when you've already had the milk for free? Eh, comrade? Hey, does anybody want to know what Courtney Cox uses for a body scrub and where she gets it? No? Okay, I didn't think so. All right, Nicole Kidman admitted she was grossed out having to kiss Alexander Skarsgård on the show Big Little Lies because he ate a falafel sandwich before kissing her in a kissing scene. And he had really bad breath, turned her off, made her gag like a maggot. Kidman went on to say that men should never eat falafel before kissing or making love, having the hot, lovely relations. Now, I'm not familiar with what's on a falafel sandwich, but apparently it gives you really, really bad breath, and it turns your butt into a butt trumpet.
That's just about enough of that.
And that is a nasty slice of celebrity cheese for you.
Who gives a rat's ass?
I was disgusted myself.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, send us your questions, comments, and observations to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. And anything goes. No topic is off the table. It is impossible to offend me. All right, Johnny C. from Bethesda, Maryland. I have a question regarding the VIX. You said when it goes below 12, it could prompt a sell-off. Wouldn't it make sense to short the market at that point? Johnny, you're thinking right. In theory, you could. But if the market sits below 12 for a long period of time, you'll just continue to bleed money while you wait. Now, the only time I've lost money in the market, I'll tell you, is when I tried to short it. Usually, you're trying to time the market. That's kind of difficult without some inside information. Unless your broker is Nancy Pelosi or her husband, I'd stay away from the shorting. Lisa T., Gary, Indiana. Why are you calling Gavin Newsom the 960 SAT guy? Well, in an interview a couple of weeks ago, Newsom admitted he had ADD, has to underline everything he reads. He can't read. He said he only scored 960 on his SATs, which puts him in the lower 35% who have taken the SATs. Okay, and that's a long time. They got a pretty big sample here. But bottom line is he admitted he was a dumbass, and we don't need another dumbass like Joe Biden in the White House again. Just a younger version. Joe Biden 2.0. Megan C., Panama City, Florida. Are you concerned with getting hit with an Iranian drone? I don't know if you're familiar with the Babylon Bee or not. You can follow it on X, but I think they said it best. Iran cancels attack on California after discovering Gavin Newsom already destroyed it. All right, Stephen Q., Stockton, California. May I ask who you're supporting for governor of California? Well, I'm leaning towards Steve Hilton because he's the only one offering solutions. All the Democrats are offering up is, hey, fuck Trump. But once they're elected, the Democrats, they'll fuck you too. Yes, they will. They're nuts. I'm telling you. So I'm leaning towards Hilton. All right, Cameron J., Amarillo, Texas. When you programmed radio stations, how did you decide what songs made it on the radio and which ones didn't? Great question, Cameron. Yeah, I like radio questions because I get to talk about me. I've always had the knack for picking hits. Always have, going back to when I was, in high school. I think I've told the story how I discovered AC/DC and everybody thought I was nuts, and they threw food at me in the cafeteria because I kept playing their music and they hated it. Yeah, they only became one of the biggest bands in the world. I think that might be where it started, but so I've always had the knack for picking good music. But it comes down to one question, really. Does the song have a really good hook that listeners can relate to, sing along with? Does it get stuck in their head? That's what I look for. And if I liked the song, it got airplay. If I didn't, it didn't. Was I perfect at it 100% of the time? No. I'd be lying if I said I was. But I was on the ball more than 90% of the time. Yeah, I was good 90% of the time, maybe 95%. If I was on the fence about a song, I would play it for the staff, get their feedback. Then I would watch sales other radio stations to see how many times they were giving it spins on the air, what the reaction was from other people to help me decide. It wasn't totally crazy. But a solid hit song will generally jump out at you pretty quick because you listen to so much doggone music. You hear a lot of crap, and then finally you hear something that just stands out. So there's that. All right, Matt H., Great Falls, Montana. And oh boy, we haven't had one of these in a while. It's a dating dilemma.
Well, isn't that special?
All right, Matt said, I recently got engaged, and now my bride wants me to pay for our wedding instead of her parents, so we're not indebted to them. Isn't it tradition for the bride's parents to pay for their daughter's wedding with no strings attached? Well, yeah, that is the tradition. But I can, I guess I can hear her parents complaining if the marriage doesn't work out. Maybe they don't have the money. You know what? Here's what I would recommend. Suggest that you both split the cost of the wedding and see how she reacts to that. Yeah, that's a good idea. It sounds good to me right now. All right, Matt, do that. Say, hey, what do you say we split the cost on this wedding? Because now her own money is involved. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
As far as I know. All right, we are playing the mystery voice today. Do you know who this famous celebrity is?
Why is it being seen as like obscene?
She is currently starring on the TV show Landman. And if you guessed Demi Moore, well,
Yeah, baby.
but if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to hit it. I'm in seeing the 28th annual Something About Mary Challenge. I'm excited about it because I started this back in 1998. And this is where men sign up to see how many times they can quickly zip and unzip their pants without getting their franken beans caught between the teeth. Oh, it's fun to watch. We have two divisions, circumcised and uncircumcised. The winner in each division meet in the finals for a zip-off. And the winner gets free parking plus 2 Dodger dogs and a beer at every Dodger game they attend this season. That's a lot of money, by the way. Yeah, free parking at Dodger Stadium is about $50 a car. 2 hot dogs and a beer, that's probably $50. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice prize for every game they attend. All right, but first, is this real or is it riffraff? Suntanning while laying outside on a solar panel produces an even tan you can't get by any other method. Alexa, is this real or is it riffraff?
Mojo, you honky mofo, that is complete riff-raff.
Honky mofo. Yeah. Okay, well, what's the best way to get an even tan then?
Lather up with suntan lotion and flip over every 20 minutes until done.
So it's kind of like making bacon.
Exactly, but you should try using baby oil.
Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Using baby oil is like putting a magnifying glass on your skin. It'll cause severe sunburn.
That is correct, and it would be perfect for you numbnuts.
Okay, fine. You're done. Get out of here. It's time for you to go.
Get the fuck out!
All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Jeremy Sykes of Roanoke, Virginia. Christy Hale in St. Paul, Minnesota. George Wojcik in Youngstown, Ohio. Abby Householder in Tempe, Arizona. And to listeners all around the world in London, England, Hamilton, New Zealand, and Rotterdam in the Netherlands.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go to ratsasspodcast.com to visit our hub and listen to previous episodes. Read the blog. It's loaded with lots of hot topicality. You can watch Rat's Ass Rock TV, join the mischief at Rat Nation, and connect with us on the socials. We'll do this again on Monday, March 16th. Take care of each other, and thanks for dropping by the Rat's Ass Podcast in association with the Oz Podcast Group.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.